in Vancouver, a little whistle stop tour. So I started my time in the Gastown district, which is like a historic area in the city, and what you've just seen is the famous steam powered clock. I was at the wrong time to hear it chime. Apparently it makes a noise every 15 minutes. And it takes, the whole thing is powered by steam, and it takes 45 minutes for the one of the big pendulums to drop down, and that's what powers the clock. Anyway, what I'm going to do is going to go from here up to Stanley Park, have a walk around Stanley Park, and then hopefully explore a little route around the Seawall in Vancouver. So I look forward to it. Thank you for joining me. Behind me over here is the cruise ship terminal, maybe the convention centre as well. But I came up last night and all of those were lit up, all multicoloured. It looked really cool actually. Not that I'm a fan of cruise ships, but that looked quite good. Like multicoloured sails. So we're gonna see how far we can get walking around by the water now. It's beautiful over there. I don't believe it gets much cooler than a seaplane. Back in 2010, Vancouver was the host for the Winter Olympics, and this behind me, that spectacular view, is where they lit the Olympic torches. So I had those burning for the whole time. It's all lit up at night too. Must have looked absolutely spectacular, but also really nice to see it still standing there with the mountains in the background. And this sculpture behind me is fairly iconic for Vancouver as well. I'm not sure if it's actually made of Lego or if it just looks like it is, but we'll go have a closer look. Spectacular location again. And close up, I can definitely confirm it's not made of Lego. If you're loving this video, then don't forget to sign up below for my newsletter with loads of tips, tricks, inspiration and destinations for your next trip. And particularly sign up if you're a woman who's into solo travel or wants to be, and you're over 40 or over 50. I'd love to share my journey with you. My next stop is a walk around the Seawall over to there, which is Stanley Park. Last time I was here I hired a bike. I went for a ride around Stanley Park. Today I'm going to walk around. Don't know if I'll make it around the whole perimeter. See how we go. Beautiful day for reflections in the city. And this area with the great views over the water and the rather fancy boats before we get to Stanley Park is Coal Harbour. Next stop is, I think it's called Brockton Park. It's the famous Totem poles. These are pretty cool. the totem poles depict a either real or a mystical event, and each part of them represents something different. So the eagle is the lordship of the air, the whale, the sea, the wolf is the land, and the frog is the transition and the link between the land and the sea. But they all tell a story. I don't know if you can see this lady here. She is basically Vancouver's equivalent of the Little Mermaid. Well, she kind of is. I don't know if she's a mermaid, but she is a very small woman sitting on a rock. So I have to say, oh, she's called Girl in Wetsuit, sorry. Girl in Wetsuit. So behind me over here is the Lions Gate Bridge. I believe I'm going to be taking that tomorrow as I'm heading up north to go skiing up in Whistler. So yeah, I think that's going to be the way that I get there. But before that, I'm going to see what it looks like on the ground. If you've seen my videos of Montreal and Quebec and Toronto and Banff, one thing that I have noticed is it is so much warmer here in Vancouver. All the other cities we had snow falling or really, really thick on the ground. It's March, so I think it's coming to the end of the snowy season, but apparently in Vancouver it only snows about 3 times a year maybe. We're taking a little detour off the Seawall to go up to Prospect Point, where I think we get a good view out over the Lions Gate Bridge, which is literally just there. So we're not far off. It said it's a steep hill, so that might put a few cyclists off. There are actually loads of trails around the park, so I'm doing something slightly different. So I've moved off the seawall just to explore inside the park a little bit more. So in theory I might be headed to Hollow Tree, but we'll see where the mood takes us. And just before the battery runs out, we've made it to Hollow Tree. So Hollow Tree is one of the giant red cedar trees that grows around here, and it's said to be the oldest tree in Stanley Park. It's 1,000 years old, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Wow. Just about to emerge back out onto the seawall, which is looking gorgeous. There is so much to explore here in Stanley Park. It is the home to the aquarium. There's also other times of year. I've heard April and May is particularly good for the gardens, which are supposed to be spectacular. So there's the azaleas and the rhododendrons, I think, are around April, May time. And then the rose garden is also supposed to be beautiful. So one day to explore the park is not nearly enough. but I hope you'll agree I've tried my hardest to do it a little bit of justice, but I believe this here will be third beach. So the scenery on this side isn't quite as dramatic as the other side. There's a certain peacefulness about it. I'm on day 2 in Vancouver. Today's all about exploring the city. I have my lovely guide with me. Meet Alex. Alex and I met many years ago in Costa Rica, and we've stayed in touch since. So she's living here, so she's going to take me on a little tour around the city. So the plan is Granville Island and then see what else we can find along the way. But it's a beautiful day. I'm a little overheating. We're just about to head over to Granville Island. A king crab. Okay, I've got this for scale. There's my hand.
Native to Alaska.
Oh my god, that's huge! Look from the top. Oh, you can't really get a scope of it from the top. Wow! That's unbelievable. We're in the produce part of Granville Market. This is Ryan Reynolds' favourite pie place apparently. So we're in the queue to get on the Aquabus to go back to the main part of downtown from Granville Island.
Come over to the office after and we'll make a plan.